Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the pre-market live show. It is Wednesday, November 13th, and the heat map just changed over. It is a little bit red this morning and mostly flat. Tesla is up like over 2%, but Microsoft and Apple and Amazon and Google and Meta are all down a hair, and NVIDIA is up just a little bit. So we'll go through and see what's happening this morning. Hope everybody has a great day. And let's get rocking and rolling. All information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only. It's not intended as financial advice, so always do your due diligence. And here we go. Let's check out our Jolie's jumpers. There was a huge list again. These things are getting crazy. So let me hop in and check this out real quick and see where we're at right here. There we are. ACB, which is a cannabis company, Aurora Cannabis. Remember, I did say the cannabis sector was looking good last night, and I said I'd be looking at them options today. So let's look at it. What is it doing? Yesterday, it ran from 481 to 501. Today, it is just sitting there at 473. So we'll take a look at it, but they are looking good. I saw Curaleaf was up. That's not even on this one. I'd have to look at it on mine. CURLF is what Curaleaf is, and it dipped yesterday. It opened at $2.12. Its high was 215 yesterday, and it closed at 166. And this morning, it looks like, oh wait, no, I'm lying. That's today's date, so it didn't do anything. That was actually Monday. And yesterday it was just that's kind of odd that it didn't do anything at 204. I have to look at that. That's looks kind of strange to me. But anyway, let's keep going through the Jolie's jumpers. I saw it on the stock twits. It was up this morning already, and I was saying that the cannabis sector did look good. So we'll look at some of them. Agrify, AGFI, that one's moving this morning. AGFY, and it popped up yesterday, and it's going more 533 to 884 yesterday. Today it's opening at 810, got up to 817, not as high as at 884, but it does look like it has a little bit of momentum right there. So keep an eye on that AGFY. That's not looking bad already. And BCG, let's look at it. Ben Capital. Remember this guy? It ran up yesterday. We forgot to go over it last night. Or was that Monday? Let me see. What day is that? The 11th. So that was Monday. And yesterday it ran up a little bit. It opened at 330, went up to 447, and it's not doing much today yet. It doesn't look like. Let me see. Um, yeah, it's not doing anything just yet, but it could possibly stay in that top and run up there a little bit more. So keep an eye on this. And that's another one we were way early on. BCG. I didn't even post about that one. And there's just been so many of them. It's been wild. We've been crushing everything. BITO, that's ProShares Bitcoin ETF. And this one jumped up. And I think we looked at this one down here in the 20s, and it's now at 23. So BITO, this has jumped up a little bit, but it is getting up there and coming back down out of the top. So watch for that to reset up. How about BLNK? What's it doing this morning? It's back to 178 there. And let's just take a quick look. BLNK and see if it's not, it doesn't look like it's doing anything yet. The 12th, yesterday, 181 to 183, but it is going to get set back up and run up. And it did. It ran back up to over that 225, pulled back, and that bottom was on November 8th at 156, and you're at 178 right now. And they had the earnings, and it pulled back on that, and now it's going to start going back up right there, and that's BLNK. And let's see what BTCS is doing. BTCS, that ran up big time yesterday as well. BTCS, what'd it go to? 193 to 441, and then this morning 273 to 305. So it tried to run up. It's just not catching as much momentum. Has some resistance at that 289. So just keep an eye on that if it can reverse around and get moving again. That BTCT, that went nutty yesterday, huh? That was definitely on our watch list. And we were super early because I said that one day here. I added this to the list. It's setting up, and it literally went from 339 $2.49 to $17 yesterday. Its low is 2.95, and the day before that it opened at 2.03 and its low was in the 190s, and before that it was in the 170s when we were looking at it. So from 170 to $17 real quick right there. And I'm telling you, that was a huge pop. And I actually had that bad boy, and it was really nice yesterday. So that guy was good, BTCT, but it's down $1.63 this morning. It's at 887 right now. And what it do? It opened at 929, ran up to 1174, and now it's in the eight. So be careful with that. And it did run like a maniac. CERO is up a little bit more this morning, I saw, and I just was posted about it, but it did run up yesterday big time to 35. And this morning it got back up to like 25 cents. So look at CERO. Maybe it's still in the top. It looks like it's coming down, but maybe it's trying to stay up there. I'll keep an eye on it and see if it's trying to do anything. CGBS, that should be that Crown LNG Holdings. And that was up a little bit, but that's been running up since we've been looking at it. And remember, Laptop Travel said this was going to have a crown. And we looked at it back here and it was in the 30s. I know that, and now it's in the 50s. It ran yesterday 50 to 58, and this morning it opened at 55 and got up to 57, and that's where it's at. So that bad boy's starting to move and has been moving since we looked at it. It's all the way at the top already. There's another one we were early on, CGBS. So there you go with that Crown LNG Holdings. And let's see, CGC is the Canopy Growth, right? Yeah, Canopy Growth. CGC. That one's up a little bit. I'm telling you, these cannabis stocks are setting up right here, so we'll keep an eye on them. I was looking at the ETFs last night, and they were looking good, so I'll roll through that sector and see what's going on. But they do look good. And I was kidding around saying, is Trump going to legalize it? But you never know. I mean, he could. Honestly, I don't think he's that anti against it. He's a business guy, and he sees what the country wants, and that's what he does. He does what's right, and you may see it get legalized. Honestly, even under his administration, he does things a little bit differently. He just does it his way. So, yeah, you could possibly see it happen. I'm not gonna lie. It's not really a Republican thing, but that doesn't mean anything. If he says he wants it done, it's going to happen. So CLDI, we'll check that out. That's all the way at the top. CLDI. It ran up yesterday, 166 to 242, and then this morning 243 to 244 started to come back a little bit, and now it's at 239. So it is up there. It looks pretty good. It looks like it wants to run in the top. I was kind of staring at it, seeing what it was trying to do. But yeah, it kind of wants to keep running up there. Look at it as a momentum play. CLDI, CYCC. Let's take a look at this. It just had its earnings on the 12th, which were yesterday, and it did pull back, and now it's curling up and looking pretty decent right there. CYCC. So let's just take a look. Yeah, it looks pretty decent. That's today's date, the 13th, 53 to 67, and it came back to 49. It's at 52. So it did run a little bit already this morning, and it's setting up to try to do something. So keep an eye on CYCC. It's not looking bad. DJT, the Trump media. Remember, I was saying let it pull back and get set up. I'll let you know when it's exactly ready. But it looks like that bottom could be that 2670 the other day. I'll just look at it today and probably be able to confirm that. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be, or that 2559, it looks like it got down to in the 25s the other day. So that's probably its bottom, and going to try to build a base. We'll just make sure and see if it's setting up definitely, but I could imagine it would be. And that is DJT. And DRUG, that drug, that's coming down and it is pulling back. So yesterday, well, let me just see on here. But we said it was going to be dipping down finally, and it went from 42.50 to 44.50 and down to 36.37, and it's at 38.46 right now. So it did run around yesterday, but it is pulling back. DRUG, what is it? DXYZ. Um, that Destiny Tech 100, it looks like it wants to run back up to the top real quick. So keep your eye on this one. Let me see. It does. It looks like it wants to try to pop back up there. It ran up the other day. It pulled back yesterday. It ran from what 36 to 36, and then it pulled back down to 30 where it closed, and now it's at 33, and it looks like it's trying to crawl back up into the top. And that's at DXYZ. So just keep an eye on that. It did run, and it looks like it could more. I was looking at FFIE this morning, and I saw that was moving, and it is trying to get out of the basement. I know we looked at it a couple weeks ago, probably around the 202 area, just because I remember what the candles were looking like, and it was right around there, and it tried to jump up. I remember it jumped up the next day, and then it just kind of fell flat. Well, yesterday was its bottom. Let me make sure that's yesterday's date. Yeah, yesterday was its bottom, and the bottom price was about 146. It's at 160 right now. FFIE, it's not looking bad. It looks like it wants to try to move, so we'll keep an eye on that. And that is that a Faraday Future Intelligent Electric. It's like a auto manufacturer, so that's that one that went crazy that time, and it is setting up, so you never know. Where's that 20 at? At 197, you're at 159. Has a lot of room once it gets past the 50 and the 270 area, it looks like. And it could get moving again. So we'll keep our eye on that FFIE and see if it wants to go wild again. How about Foxo? I know we were early on this as well. We looked at it as it was just kind of moving, and it's staying up in the top. Yesterday, it ran up even higher to that 130, and right now it's around 110 FOXO. So it just has a lot of momentum there. It opened at 105, got up to 116, and like I said, it's at 110. So keep your eye on Foxo. It's trying to run back up in the top. So FOXO and GNS, that Genius Group, we looked at it last night, and it ran up yesterday, opened at 70, got up to 150, and then this morning it looks like it wants to stay in that top right there. What is it doing? It opened at 163, got up to 164, came down to 111, and it's at 121 right now. So have to keep an eye on it. It is pulling back a little bit, but it did run yesterday, GNS. And we saw that last night on the scanner. We were just taking a look at that bad boy. Hut. I know we were looking at this, and somebody added it to the list, and it did run up. It's been running up here, and this is a crypto type one as well. And it ran from 23 to 25 today. And yesterday it ran from the day before, Monday, it ran up from the 21 to 25. Yesterday it was a 26 area. So it's been running up there, but it's in the top, but it looks like it's curling up some more. And they have their earnings today, as a matter of fact. So it looks like it wants to pull back, but it looks like it also wants to curl up on earnings. So who the heck knows? And again, I don't mess with the earnings anymore. So KAPA, let's look at that. That one shot up the last few days. We were not looking at this bad boy, but we should have been because it looks good. Yesterday, 140 to 285, and then today, 274 to 343. So KAPA, check this out. It's running up in the top right there. We never even looked at that, never even heard of it, but it's not looking bad. And how about that MSOS? I remember we were looking at this last night. It's the cannabis ETF, and I was saying they want to pop up. It's up 9 cents, it looks like. Oh, let me type it in right. MSOS. And it is up a little bit this morning, 487 to 5. It's at 481 right now. And like I said, the cannabis sector is looking pretty decent right there. So I'll go through that later. MicroStrategy is pulling back a little bit, but he's been at the top, and I could see it pulling back a little bit, but it's not going to be much. Today it's 342 to 352, and it's back, and that's where it's sitting. So it actually on mine looks pretty strong right now. And 352, yeah, I mean it does. Yesterday it got up a little bit higher. That's why it looks like it has a little pullback. Yesterday it got up to 371 and closed at 350, and today it opened at 342. So it did open a little lower than it closed, but still that, and yes, it doesn't look that bad actually now that I'm looking at it. So keep an eye on it, but it is up at the top, and it's been running up there, MSTR. And I'm going to wait for them to pull back and set back up and then we're going to attack them ETFs on all these bad boys. So instead of actually trading the MSTR, we'll trade the ETF because it's way bigger. How about Mullen? We were looking at it last night and it was running up yesterday, that's for sure. It was amazing to see. And just be careful because this is the most diluted company ever. But yesterday it ran from 173 to 445. We were looking at it about 2 weeks ago because I remember it split, I think, but again, yeah, it split back here in September and then it never got moving. And me and Peninsula Life, I believe, were kind of joking back and forth that everyone has a good Mullen story because this is the most diluted company ever. And but it is moving, so take a look at it and just be careful because this company's crazy. They like to jump up and dip real hard and then reverse split 10 times. So MVST. Remember, we were looking at this and it's popping up there. So that's Micro Vast Holdings. And we were definitely just looking at it, MVST, and it jumped up yesterday. We were looking at it before that. It was down in the 18s. Yesterday, it ran from 19 to 35. And then this morning, 35 to 46. It's at 41. And we were definitely early on that. It was on a laptop travel list. And there you go with MVST and NMHI, Nature's Miracle Holdings. We were looking at this before. I remember it ran up when we were looking at it from 12 to about 40 something, and it's bouncing back up. It's at 12 NMHI. So keep an eye on it. It's curling back up, and it looks like it wants to try to get moving again. So that's that Nature's Miracle. And we'll watch that one because it looks pretty good. ONMD. Let's take a look. ONMD. One Med Net Corp, and it's up 2 cents. It did run. ONMD. Let's see. It ran up yesterday, 81 to 137. And then today it opened at 115, got up to 120, back to 98 where it's sitting right now. So ONMD, it could reverse back and get moving again. So just keep an eye. It's just sitting right there after kind of ran around in the pre-market. It's at 97, it says right now. So just take a look at it today. Fun is down a little bit to 520. I mean, we knew it was coming back down to the 50 and it dropped under it, but keep an eye on it because you know it'll get fun again. It's going to start curling up. I'm going to start looking at it long term, to be honest. So I'll wait for it to do what it wants to do today, see what it's looking like, but it is going to start setting up. I just want to see what that 20 is doing and everything else. So I'll keep an eye on fun. We look at it every day. And PRCH, what a list right here. We never had is this list is like 3 times longer than any of the lists during the Biden administration. I mean, it's already crazy. The last two lists, taking us like the entire morning just to get through Jolie's jumpers because there's so many poppers. Good problems right there. PRCH, another one been running up there. Yesterday 313 to 347, and then today just sitting at like 336, but that could get moving back up there in the top. It's just sitting flat at the top and it could pop back up. So PRCH could be a good one. How about Rivian? We said it was going to drive back up. It's up $1.11 right now. It's in the 11s, and we knew at 950 it was its bottom. So there you go at Rivian, and I mean that was called perfectly for you guys. So there you go with RIVN. SGN is that signing day sports, and we were way early on this. Somebody on Stock Twits likes this one, and it has run up November 8th. Last week it ran from 17 to 36. And then it started to run Monday. It ran 27 to 37 yesterday, 22 to 24, and not quite doing anything yet this morning, but it has been running up and moving around. SNDL is a cannabis company as well. They also own some beer companies, a lot of distilleries as in addition to some cannabis stuff, and it's a Canadian company, and they do it kind of smart. They kind of want cannabis and distillery, and they buy a bunch of the microbreweries and stuff. They're not a bad company. SNDL, it's at $2. It's sitting down here trying to curl up. Let me see what it's doing this morning. SNDL has that weird look like it's ready to do something. That's yesterday's date. And what it do yesterday? 199 to 204, back to 195, closed at 199. So opened and closed on the same price. And it is starting to curl up there. So, like I said, cannabis industry looking pretty good right there. Not exactly sure what's happening, but I'll have to look into that. And that is SNDL Sonder Holdings. Let's see this. This one's curling up really nice. SOND. Let's see. Wow, that's curling up really good right there. 365 to 425 this morning, it looks like. So actually, that's yesterday. It ran up last Friday, ran up a little bit on Monday. Yesterday, it's trying to move, and it still doesn't look bad to try to get cruising some more. SOND, you want to keep an eye on that. It's not doing anything yet. At least to me, it's not. And STRL, Sterling Infrastructure, this one looks like it's going to be pulling back to set up to get blasting off. So this is some construction firm, STRL. And it did top out yesterday at that 201. It's back to 191. Let it pull back and set back up. I'm not sure. It looks familiar like we had looked at it before. And Tilray, another cannabis company, just setting up really, really well. So take a look at Tilray. And like I said, that cannabis industry setting up. And it looks like today 149 to 150, back to 146. Yesterday 143 to 151, but it came down to 136. Looks like it's going to be its low right there and wants to get moving. And there you go with your Jolie's jumpers. That's quite a list, huh? Holy cow. That's a lot of poppers right there and setups that are looking beautiful. Let's jump right into our SPY, and everything looks a little more red than green this morning, except for Tesla is up, but let's go through them one by one. The SPY is back 83 cents. And like I said, I thought it topped out and wants to pull back into that 590 area. So it's just going to try to make some room to really get blasting off, possibly next week, probably. Let's look at GameStop. That's down 81 cents and pulled out of the top. I wanted to see what it was doing this morning, but again, I think it's getting set up to get cruising. So we'll keep our eye on that. AMC just down 2 cents, and I'm telling you, this thing's about to get wild, guys. So keep your eye on that AMC. And that Chewy, CHWY, that's down 16 cents. And another one, it's in the top and it's just sitting right there. So it's setting up to do something. And whether it's this week or next week, we'll look at them, but they're getting ready. Nvidia is up 32 cents, it says, and it's just trading between this little channel right here. So getting set up to really blast off into the top is Nvidia. I would just watch for some dip opportunities. That's what I would keep an eye on, like Apple right here at 223.42. So just keep an eye on it. It's right there on that line. So we'll see what it wants to do right there. AAPL. And but yeah, it's gonna be getting set up and you can see it gonna get rolling soon. So that's Apple right there, AAPL, Google GOOG down what 64 cents. Like I said, it jumped up there. It's set up in a great spot, and I think it should pull back to get set up better. Seemed to want to jump up yesterday. I don't know what they had going on, but they have something happening. It's going to be getting cruising in the near future right there, and that's Google. Amazon is up 27 cents. And remember, I said last night it looked like it wanted to roll up into the top and get cruising. It does. It looks like it wants to roll up into the top and stay in there. Now they can stay in the top and keep running like they usually like a normal chart can. Before they couldn't really do it ever. They couldn't even think about it. So we're looking at I got to try to retrain my brain to remember what a real chart looks like because in the last 3.5 years, they just disappeared. And everything I've looked at for almost 20 plus years just didn't happen in the last 3.5 years. It was the most bizarre thing I ever saw. And that's why I said I don't even think the charts would have lasted another 4 years. So it's a beautiful thing what happened, and things are looking great. I'm telling you. So Amazon up, Meta. This is down a little bit. Just watch for your pullback, but I'm telling you, this thing is setting up to get crazy. Zuckerberg's got something wild happening on here. Maybe he's joining the Trump's cabinet too. I don't know, but that thing, I'm telling you, Meta looks wild. So just keep an eye on it. Microsoft, this is down $1.15. It was moving up yesterday, and again, it's just setting up to move. That's what all of them are doing. They're bouncing around while they're setting up to really get cruising here. So, and the charts are like the entire market's changing from almost that bearish look to getting super bullish now. They were actually obviously transforming, but now they're trying to do it. So you can see what's going on and what's about to happen. That's for sure. And Tesla, that one was up $6 again at 334 and wants to bounce back up and stay in the top there. So that is Tesla. And there we are with that. Let's look at Nike real quick. It's down 9 cents. What is my little guy doing up there? He's getting crazy. Nike's down 9 cents. It's at 76, but again, keep your eye on this thing. It's going to start moving. And also, Exxon Mobil looked really good. And that's up 30 cents this morning. And I'm telling you, that one looks good to try to curl up. What was Snow doing? Just down 59 cents. It was down a little yesterday. Their earnings are next week. And it ran up yesterday to that 127. We'll see what it wants to do. But that is that Snow. And yeah, it's just showing me yesterday's date, not even showing me today's on mine. So on here it is at 125. It's just sitting there. So we'll see what that wants to do when it opens. Let me see what you guys want to look at in crypto real quick. And here we go. Let me see if you guys want to see anything. ASTS, let's look at that one real fast. What's that up to? ASTS, that ASTS Space Mobile we looked at last night, and that one's cruising up. That's over $1 right now. So there's another one, ASTS. What it do today? It ran from 25.35 to 26.50, and it's sitting at that 25.30. So there you go. Another one. MSTR wants to be the biggest crypto bank. Oh, Luis Rodriguez, it's gonna be Sayer's a genius. He's outperforming everything on the S&P 500, and all he is doing is buying Bitcoin. It's his only strategy. He's not doing anything else but buying Bitcoin, and he is going to be the biggest. Guy is going to be worth $1 trillion probably, if not way more. So yeah, Luis Rodriguez, that's why I said we're watching that MSTR, and when they pull back, we're going to be hitting them ETFs on them bad boys as they run up. How about that BSLK? Because that was moving this morning, I believe. Bolt projects, let me see on mine, it's just flat on there. Let's see, BSLK, what did it do yesterday? 33 to 39, 36 to 39 at 35 right now. So yeah, this one's trying to move. We were looking at it, and keep your eye on that bad boy because that's trying to get cruising as well. So there you go with that one. And let me take a quick look at some crypto real fast. And let me see what else is going on. Sayer, is that a truly a micro strategy or a mega? I'm telling you, it's both of them. And Zuck's not joining Trump. I know he doesn't even like him. I was kind of joking around there, but he's got something going on in that company, and I'm telling you, Meta looks really good. I was just kind of making a big joke right there because I know Trump does not like him that much, and but yeah, the stock's setting up to do something. I have no idea what Meta has going on there. Don't look at the news very often, you know that. But I just know that the chart's setting up. So and there you go. Let's take a quick look at the crypto and see what it's doing this morning. It was down a little bit, but again, it ran up so high. Bitcoin's still at 87,800. So, I mean, that's still cruising and kind of making a base at that spot up there. So, it makes a base at that 88,000. You're not going to see it come down much more than that. And yeah, that would be pretty wild. Ethereum's at 3,169, and that bad boy is just pulling back, could come back to the 50 if it wanted to, or the 100, I mean, and it won't be the end of the world. Ripple's at 66, still ripping up there. And let's see, just looking on my stock app here, and it ran in the 70. Honestly, I think they're going to just kind of bounce back up into the 70. So Doge is still at 38, and it's kind of making a little base at 38. At least it's trying to. And again, they're way up there and it wants to stay up there. These things, crypto can run up at the top, especially in these like bull markets like this for a long time. So we'll keep an eye on that. What's that WIF doing this morning? Let's take a quick look. That one is back over three, it looks like. Yeah, 301 and curling back up and looking good. That was making a base. So keep an eye on that. WIF looking nice right there. How about our bonk? Let's see if I can type it in here. BONK. And that's still up like 18%. That's been running like bonkers. So keep an eye on bonk. And I told you guys this was going to run. It's finally up in the 70, but I think it's going to run up even higher right there. So that is bonk. And what did Sheeb do? I forgot to look at it. It was down just a hair, but nothing crazy. A little pullback right there. And yeah, just kind of pulling back, but they all needed to. They went wild. So just a little pullback action. And that's our crypto right there. I'll run through our laptop travel ones. I'll have to knock them in. I'll try to do a few of them real quick, but I know I got to get up there and take care of the little guy. So let me take a look real quick and get into my profile because I know I posted them out, so I'd have them there. Here we go. Let's look at them real quick. I can run through VKTX. Let's see that Viking Therapeutics down a little bit. I think yesterday might have been its bottom, guys. So I would keep an eye on this bad boy because it looks like it's going to get moving now. So I think Laptop Travel is on to something. And so keep an eye on that VKTX today. ADTX, let's see what it's doing because it's been setting up right there, just running down. And yeah, I mean, I'm kind of impressed that it hasn't really run more, that it hasn't started to set up and run yet. So we'll keep an eye on that. AENT, let's take a look at that bad boy. Just dipping down. It's probably going to have to pull back to the 407 area to get set back up, and that's AENT. AREB. Let's see what that's doing. Pulling back a little onto the 20, but not looking bad there. AREB. Yeah, that one could be bouncing back up right there. ATIP. Let's take a look at that. This one's that big fish hook, and I think yesterday might have been its bottom. Is that yesterday's date? The 12th? Yeah. So that what it do? 226 area, and right now it's at 245. So ATIP has that big fish hook and it's going to be bouncing around, but it looks pretty decent now. So back IMAC Holdings, that's just pulling back, and let's see what it wants to do. If that's a little dip and rip, look at it because it could be a little dip and rip situation. I know we looked at that before. EFSH, that 1847 holdings, that recently just split on the 11th. So what, it split on Monday. Let's keep an eye on that because that's going to start crawling up right now. And you know that's going to run after the split. So keep your eye on EFSH. That one's going to be a good one. GV, let's see what that's up to. That Visionary Holdings ran up the other day and setting up really good right there. GV, I would keep an eye on that bad boy too. Just a little pullback, but it is setting up again. And LEDS, that one ran up the other day. And let's see what it's trying to do right now. LEDS. It did run up yesterday to 213. It was running up before, and it's at 141 right now. So there you go with LEDS. Might be pulling back, but that was a good smasher. And I know some listeners hit that one right there. So that was a laptop travel beauty. LIPO 295 just recently split down there on November 8th and looking really good. Keep our eye on this. LIPO, what's this doing? Just sitting there at $3, but it's going to get moving, guys. So keep our eye on that. NVFY, 89 cents, just touching right there. NVFY, but this one's going to want to bounce up relatively soon. It was in a great spot. What was that? Yeah, Monday. Not doing anything yet, but it was in a great spot Monday. So you might see a dip and rip right there on NVFY. QLGN, I know we looked at this last night. It recently split and it's just pulling back, but it's setting up. So just curling up, but pulling back a hair. And just watch this one because it's going to get moving relatively soon. So watch for that bottom. TNFA, let's take a look at that. It is down just a hair. TNF Pharmaceuticals. I know we looked at this before, just pulling back, and we'll watch it because this one could set up, but it's just pulling back at the moment. And that TTOO, T2 Biosystems, up a penny. And this one has earnings coming up on what, tomorrow. So we'll wait for that. It's curling up really nice. So keep your eye on TTOO. It actually could run for the earnings because it's in the basement. It wants to curl up. Just keep an eye. I don't really like the earnings, but that one looks decent. VRAX, that one's setting up. Look for it to pull back down here to the 180s. It's at 214 right now. And what it run yesterday, 239 to 250. Its low is 204. So look at it around there. It looks like it wants to set up and has that hard line right there in the 180s. But I don't know if it's getting down that low. Just take a look at it today. But it will be setting up. An XHG. Let's see. And this one just split too on November 8th, one for 20, and it dipped down a few times, and it looks like it could be trying to bounce. I'll have to take a look at XHG. It just has that look, and I'll look at it today to see what it wants to do. And there you go, our laptop lowdowns right there. Thank you very much. And there we are with our market. And like I said, it's just a little bit red. Everything's down just a hair, but that could change real quick. And the five inflation, they do have the CPI report, I believe, today, or is it today? Laptop travel, I think so. Inflation unlikely to show much progress in October, so yeah, they must. All eyes on CPI, I would say so. And so yeah, we have the CPI report coming out today, and that's what all the news is about. And so yeah, laptop travel is saying yes. And there you go. So I'll keep an eye. We'll keep an eye on the CPI, but that inflation's all going to change now too. Everything's going to change. So even if it's pulling back a little bit on October's report, everything in the future is probably going to look much better. So there you go. Have a great day, everybody. A great Wednesday. Trade smart, locking those profits, and thanks for tuning in, Asian Joe Lee. Thank you for your Joe Lee's jumpers and laptop lowdowns, laptop travel. Eileen, have a great day. I think you had which one was it that we were just talking about? One that popped up there at the end I was just talking about, but I know you were talking about it. She said, yeah, and I know that you did. I just can't think of what the stock ticker is. And STX Confidential, we're gonna look at the one that which one was it? It was DBGI. Let's look at that one real quick. That's a STX Confidential. It's up just a hair, and I'm telling you guys, keep an eye on this. Let me see. DBGI. Yeah, keep your eye on it. It's not really doing just that 14 cents went down to 13, but it's right there. So there you go. And everybody else, Luis Rodriguez and East Coast Beach Girl, Irish Lucky and Low Country Profits, Tommy, D Boney or somebody, Sherry, how are you? Bonk Perchan, Natasha, Diamond, Buddy, Eric, MMA. They actually had some good ones. MMAMM. It is Harris and Russell. Everybody, have a great day. Like I said, lock in those profits and trade smart. Let me know if you want to look at anything. I'll be looking at these bad boys. They're just kind of pulling back the setup to get crazy. We knew it last week, and we'll hit all the small cap poppers. I'll go through and post a few that are looking great. So there you go. Have a great day, and I'll catch you guys later. See everybody later.